you kicked it off?
Yeah, it's lovely that they say that now, but we're all a lot older and wiser and perhaps thinking and saying things differently. It was great for us to do it. Nobody really wanted to open the thing with showbiz people once we'd all agreed, and Bob badgered everybody into it. And then came the who's going on first and who's not. And I said to Rick, surely if we can get on first, because we can get out of there. No, I still didn't, or we still didn't think it was going to be that big and snowball into the event that it did. And that's all credit to Mr. Geldof.
What, so you said yes to the first part of the night because you thought you'd get home earlier?
Basically, yeah. It sounds terrible now, but we've always been that way. I'm still that way, is you get on, do your thing, and you go. And I thought we'd be, because Rick lived in Battersea at the time and thought he'd just quickly nip out in the car and go back home again. And we couldn't get out. It's all so different than we imagined it was going to be. When we flew over and came in, that was probably 9:30 in the morning, and it was full up. That doesn't happen. And then when we finally walked on, I think Rick kissed Skinner, and something funny. It was funny with that. And I looked at him. We always managed to talk to each other with eyes and looks, and we knew each other that well. And it was seeing all what we call now media. There were so many cameras and so much going on, but the overriding thing was the feeling of these people that weren't there for the quid pro quo. Get it? And normally an audience buys its ticket and there's an expectation. It wasn't so much the expectation as they were joining in and being part of trying to do something.
From that day right now, and I wonder, I know you had played big stadiums before, but I wonder if there is something about the scale of that when you stepped onto that stage that was slightly kind of took your breath away, because even watching it now, the scale, the number of people, the crowd is astonishing, isn't it?
It is. It's the vibe from them, as I said to you. When you walk on normally to a crowd like that, there's this expectation. You can feel it. You better do something now, and we all feel that when we walk, and which is why they develop that showbiz thing in one develops. But these people were just so pleased to be there and part of everything, and I've never felt that before then or since. So again, very unique situation. Whether that can be done again, which is why I think it's difficult to Bob to have a continuance in it and to keep everybody in the world and talk about the debt to the banks and so on. All the things that people don't really want to talk about or don't want him or us to talk about. They want you just to get on, do your thing and go, which is what we did.
What was it like backstage, Francis? I mean, so many huge global names all crammed in there. It must have been quite an event.
It is. It's weird, but there's always this feeling that we all know each other as big Chinas, my mates. In the 60s, the late 60s, it was somewhat like that. But as we went through the 70s, it became more and more of a business. And therefore, as I said, you try and do something to make it difficult for the person following you. But what happened on that day is everybody did their thing, was allowed in the dressing room for so long and had to be out. But I know a few people, and they're all very much acquaintances. So I said hi to the people that I knew, and but again, something else kicks in when you're out there doing the gig. If you're socialising someplace or you meet on the road, yeah. But then again, the business kicks in. If I'm going to follow someone or they're going to follow me, I'm going to make it as hard as possible, and they're going to make it as hard as possible for me. But all in all, what a fabulous day, and it worked.
And Francis, you are back out on the road, aren't you? You're going out on a solo tour in September. What's that like for you now?
Well, I didn't intend it to happen. I had a book, or Mick Wall wrote the book called Talk Too Much, because I do talk too much, and I don't care anymore. And so I did a tour called Talk Too Much. I played one or two tunes, and then realised what everybody had seen before and thought, nah. The intimacy, and there's something about our theatres and working to sort of 300-400 to 1,200 people, and there is something in encompassing everything. And it's nice to play stadiums and such, but there is a certain detachment, distance, and kind of talking to bleh. Whereas in a theatre, you can taste them. You can say they shuffle about if they're uncomfortable. If I've said something that they don't like, in some of the stories. But it's good. I do about 20 tunes. I talk too much. I overrun. I don't care. And they get to pee when they need to. And they're all bursting by that time because they're just on.
I'm afraid we've overrun here. We're going to have to leave it there. But Francis Rossi, fantastic to see and hear you as ever.
You can watch three-part documentary, Live 8 at 40, when rock and roll took on the world. It's on the iPlayer now. And there's also a Radio 2 special, Live Aid, the fan story on BBC Sound.